Ladies and gentlemen, hit subscribe to this channel right now to my super chat. I can't do this without you. Your super chat support is greatly appreciated. Every single live stream, twice a day, hopefully throughout this year, you will hear Donald Trump on this channel. You will hear the unedited, actual words of Trump, not the distorted, censored words filtered through liberal sensibilities in the form of very sad and pathetic sound bites. Trump is still up in the polls. He's absolutely destroying his competitors, DeSantis, Chris Christie, Nikki Haley. In Iowa, he's going to win easily over 30 to 50 points. We'll see. Hopefully over 50 points. If you're in Iowa, if you want to save this country from a terrible economy, market crash, all of that, and we'll probably have the market crash before then, but please, please, please choose Trump and get the ball rolling. Hit subscribe. You're going to hear Trump right now. Nico, everyone here, hello. Your super chat is so greatly appreciated. Paul Bartlett, God bless you. Before I even start off, everybody, Paul Bartlett is always supporting this channel. Everyone give Paul a lot of love. Give Paul a lot of love on this channel, everybody. He's always supporting this channel. And he's done so for years and years and years. Thank you, Paul. To my viewers in Australia, thank you so very much. Let's get started, everybody.
Well, thank you very much. I want to tell you that was a hell of a trip I just took. That was really tough. We had a great time in one of your very nice districts. You know where I'm talking about. And I was told between the weather and we decided brilliantly to rent a small plane because it could save you about 15 minutes if you drove. And we did. We rented a small. We landed with the big one. We got into a small one because the runways were a little small for the other one. And to save 15 minutes, it took us a couple of hours because the small plane didn't work. Somebody in Iowa had a plane that was for rent. And we said, let's take that plane. We'll save a couple of minutes. But you know, my people were great. They said, look, the people of Clinton won't mind, sir. You can cancel, and it'll be fine. They said, sir, honestly, you could cancel. They won't mind at all. And I said, there's no way I'm canceling Clinton. There's no way.
Does this sound like the raging authoritarian despot that it wants to do away with democracy? Paul Bartlett, thank you again. Lawrence, hello. Marianne, hello. Does this sound like, James, hello, does this sound like the authoritarian despot monster that wants to do away with democracy? When you listen to Trump, he's amusing, hilarious, but also you can tell that there's a lot more going on there than with Biden. Okay? Biden doesn't really talk about any decision he's making like Trump does. Biden has a team of, who knows how large the team is, but a team of people that have scripted his every single move. My God almighty, he does nothing. He does nothing without a team of public relations executives and others propping him up, like Weekend at Bernie's. Speaking of Bernie Sanders, who was railroaded in the Democratic Party, there's no way they can pull a number on Trump. He'll be up probably about 4 to 5 to 6 points in November of 24. Unfortunately, that's with a stock market crash. I believe we're going to see a terrible market crash, but hit subscribe to my super chat. Paul, thank you so much. Let's continue.
Man, do we get an A for effort, though? That was quite a trip. That was quite a trip, but there was no way I would never even think about it, especially when I saw the lines. It's all over the internet, the lines of people going back so far. So I want to thank you. I wouldn't have the courage to do it, if you want to know the truth. We have courage to do a lot of things, but we'll start by just saying, hello, Iowa. You're going to win this election for us so big. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Because 9 days from now, the people of this state are going to cast the most important vote of your entire lives. And I used to say that, 2016, I'd say that, and I meant it. But this is more important because they're destroying your nation.
This is the most important vote of our lifetime. We've seen what Democrats can do. Shut down state economies simply because multinational organizations told them to do so, without any thought, a very stupid, fabricated consensus. We have the most unintelligent, idiotic intelligentsia of all time. Usually, if you have an intelligentsia, they should be smart or they should be intelligent. We have the biggest buffoons and imbeciles running global, not just domestic, but global organizations that influence the economies of state economies, local economies, and Trump is the only person standing in the way of actual authoritarian, despotic, totalitarian decision making under the guise of morally superior, highly educated liberal Democrats. Carl Stevens, thank you. To my super chat, thank you. Thank you, Carl. Greatly appreciated. Carl Stevens, thank you. Let's continue. With Trump, we get a great economy, great foreign policy. We don't fund endless military conflict. And we don't get into a nuclear confrontation with an old Cold War adversary. Okay, the Berlin Wall fell 30 plus years ago. Fell 30 years ago. So, I don't know how Democrats have created a new Cold War, but they did. And all of those, like, they say, I can go on forever, but let's just continue. Let's continue with Trump. And does he sound like this despot, authoritarian? Whoa!
They are destroying your nation like nobody's ever seen before. What they've done is so sad in every way. The borders, the military. You look at all this inflation killing you. Afghanistan, the press, the fake news. I would say, Jim.
Start your Forex.
Was a brilliant president all of a sudden, first time. And I hope he likes hearing that because I mean it. By delivering a massive victory in Iowa, you will send a thundering message straight to crooked Joe Biden and the fake news. Look at all those cameras back there. That's a lot. To the fake news media and all of the evil and sinister people trying to destroy this nation. With your vote for our campaign on Monday, January 15th, it's finally here. We're here. We waited and waited.
When Trump talks about the media, he does so because media is so overtly on the side of the Democratic Party. It would be different if, for example, media tried to be apolitical. If media tried to be, Mr. Falconham, hello. If media tried to be apolitical, imagine if it was just apolitical. In 2012, you had favorable news stories on Paul Ryan and his workout routine. Do you understand? In 2012, do you want really quickly, do you want to see what 2012 was about? By the way, he's up huge in Iowa over Biden. But here, this is what the news was about in 2012. This was viewed as a hit piece, or not even a hit piece. Paul Ryan's dumbbell routine. This is, can you imagine Trump or anyone around Trump getting a piece, an article written about his workout routine? It would never happen. This is 2012. They went from Paul Ryan's workout routine to Trump being an operative of the Kremlin. Paul Ryan has a body. He agreed to show it off to Time magazine. Time magazine did a whole story on Paul Ryan's workout routine. That's why Trump goes after media. That's why. They went from Paul Ryan's workout routine to Trump is a Kremlin operative. Trump, it will devour democracy. Trump. That's why. The authoritarians are those after Trump, not Trump, who wants a better country, wants the country to not to experience all the problems that we're experiencing now. By the way, this is hilarious. This is why Democrats, he's so irreverent, it's hilarious.
They had me the other day. I was imitating Biden because he can't walk off a stage, right? You know, no, he can never find the exit. So they have me turning around and looking for them.
Can you imagine Biden doing this with Trump? If Trump is such a horrible buffoon, why would it be so difficult for Biden to poke fun at Trump? By the way, you know, comedians that go after Trump, they're not funny. They're not funny. It's not that funny to go after Trump anymore. It's so played out. It's actually amusing and sad at the same time regarding Biden. It's like sad and amusing. But Trump is hilarious.
I mean, these stages have a lot of stairs on them. Some of them have 4 or 5 stairs, and he had like so many stairs, he couldn't find it. And they showed me that I couldn't find the way off the stage. In other words, they said he couldn't find the way off the stage. And it's just terrible. They're so bad. You guys are so dishonest. You're so pathetic.
And he calls them out. See, there's obvious cognitive issues with mashed potato brains. Obvious cognitive issues. And what they do is they say, well, Trump has the same problems. They make everything morally relative. Everything is morally relative. Because it's so obvious they're the ones with the corruption. They're the ones with serious cognitive issues. They're the ones with full media narrative, and still they can't really touch Trump. His poll numbers go up. He'll get convicted. His poll numbers will go up. He'll win the presidency convicted. Only in America, because people know it's only about political power. There was never a moment where Democrats cared about the country when it came to Trump. It was about political power. They were going to tarnish the presidency. Trump didn't tarnish the presidency. It's Democrats. They're the ones who ignored norms and traditions. They're the ones who treated an incoming president like, the greatest monster who ever lived. They never treated Trump as their president, not even for 1 second. Then they demanded that you revere Biden and not talk about the rampant, obvious bribery scheme. But let's continue. To my super chat, thank you.
You will declare that we're going to take back our country, we're going to defeat Joe Biden, and we're going to make America great again. And it all starts here in Iowa, 7 p.m., Martin Luther King Day. So don't stay home, just please, you know. The polls are showing we're going to win by a lot. And worst thing you can do, let's just stay home, Alice. Let's watch it on television. We don't want to do that. You got to get out, because the more we win by, we're shooting for November, because we got to send a message. We got to send a message. We can't be beaten. Because if we are beaten, we're not going to have a country left anymore. They're destroying this country. Nobody's ever seen anything like it.
When he says that, it's true. Democrats are destroying, their policies are destroying. Poverty is up. Number one, poverty is up under Democrats and Biden. This is a fact. The only selling point, the greatest marketing point to being a Democrat is that you care about poor people. You care so much, apparently, that you create more poor people with your policies. Poverty is up. Inflation is up. Subsided because interest rates are through the roof, have exponentially increased. You cannot have a functioning economy with 7 to 8% interest rates. Desperately trying to hold down inflation at 3%, 4%, but inflation for food is far higher. Rent far higher. And then you have oil prices, if they go up to $100 a barrel, what do you think is going to happen? Then you have credit card debt. Then you have a massive amount of credit card debt, a record amount of credit card debt in the country. Something like $1 trillion in credit card debt. So that's funded the consumer spending. All of this is smoke and mirrors. When Democrats pushed to shut down economic activity, okay, and it was Democratic Party and bureaucrats and media, they opened up an economic Pandora's box. And we still haven't, they use a dumb term called reckoning all the time, but we still haven't come to terms with what is about to take place. Interest rates this high make it impossible for people to buy homes. Inflation is just waiting to bubble up. But we don't have an economy that's really functioning, you know, a really good economy where interest rates have to go up, because the inflation is not fueled by a great economy. It's fueled by the trillions and the shortages the trillions pumped into states to shut down their economic system. And then shortages. And then credit card debt. So, and who knows? I mean, with crypto, you could see Sam Bankman-Fried might be just one of many crypto Ponzi schemes. I mean, there are so many, and he gave Democrats $40 million. So, he's right. And the funny thing is, Democrats, they don't really get it. So they think the fact that a Democrat is in the Oval Office, they're like, oh, things are great. But things are not great. And the way they look at Trump, they're like, he's an authoritarian. Look what he's saying. He's such a horrible person. Nobody cares anymore about the sensibilities of liberal Democrats. Nobody cares. Poverty is up. Crime is up. We have a terrible situation, a human rights catastrophe in the southern geographic region of our country. Democrats just think they're the good, noble, just people, as atrocities are being committed all the time because of their policies. Because of their policies. Trump, with a wall, would have made things so much better, saved people's lives. But see, Democrats don't see that. They can only imagine a world where they're at the vanguard, at the forefront of being compassionate, as they give cereal or Captain Crunch, or what was it, Lucky Charms, to when DeSantis, or I forgot who, or the Texas governor sent them to Martha's Vineyard, and the good liberals there gave wonderful human beings searching for a better life Lucky Charms right before they quickly moved them out of Martha's Vineyard. My God. And then they said, well, we don't have any resources here. It's like, hello, that is exactly the rebuttal of every red state. I mean, reality comes. Democrats are forced to accept reality very quickly when they're the ones who have to deal with certain things. Then you have New York's mayor and other mayors in blue states, blue cities, echoing Trump. They use the word echoing conservatives. Suddenly, it's okay when Democrats say, don't come, like Kamala Harris said. It's never okay when Republicans say it, or Trump. But anyway. And I want dreamers to be citizens. And Trump offered dreamers to become citizens. He said, go ahead, fund the wall, and we'll do a deal for dreamers. Democrats still haven't done that. So, that's just one of many things Democrats claim that they care about, but really don't.
Grossly incompetent and also totally corrupt. And what they're doing with elections, with the interference, is incredible. Farmers, you know.
Attention.
Because you're only about 40 points up, but don't believe that either. Pretend you're 1 point down. Okay? You're 1 point down. You have to get out and you have to vote, vote, vote. You got to do it by big, big margins. We're thrilled to be joined today by state representatives, fantastic people. Bobby Kaufman. Where's Bobby? Bobby. Did he do a good job? He was telling you about caucusing. Thank you, Bobby. A great guy. Luana Stoltenberg, who's fantastic. Luana, thank you. Great job. Thank you for being here. Great endorsements. We have endorsements from all these people. And Mark Cisneros, thank you very much. Thank you, Mark. Great. Appreciate it. Tremendous. Running wild in Democrat-run cities while law enforcement has been weaponized against Christians, conservatives, and people of faith. And, you know, Catholics, I don't know if they're
One thing about the Democratic Party, and this is something that I don't really think people really talk about. There's like nothing wrong with being atheist or agnostic. I think, you know, Christopher Hitchens was a huge inspiration to me, even though I believe in God, but that God exists. But, you know, you can ask, well, why would God allow these things? But eventually, at the end of the day, I do think there's a life after death predicated upon how you act in this life. But Democrats don't see that. Their life after death is the here and now, and how closely you are aligned to Democratic Party talking points, liberal ideology, and their sacred cows change all the time, which you have to worship all the time. So the definitions of certain words were just fine in 2016, but now the words have changed. So that's part of their religion. And if you don't adhere to their religion, they'll excommunicate you, and it's a big problem. So the Democrats view consensus, a fabricated consensus, groupthink, acceptance of an arbitrary ideology always changing, as gospel, their gospel. Okay, I mean, if you ask a Democrat, what do you think? Do people have souls or spirits, or, you know, is there a soul in a person's body? Oh, we don't know. But, you know, it's bad to vote for Trump. And it's like, I don't think any deity would be a fan of either Trump or Biden, but I would say that if a deity had to pick, he'd rather have Trump, who is against never-ending military conflict and presided over a great economy. If you do believe in a God or spirituality, you want to appreciate and do good things in life. Trump has done a lot more good things than President Obama, who destroyed Libya. Trump didn't destroy a country. Obama did. So did Biden. So did Hillary. And Bush and Cheney and Rumsfeld destroyed numerous countries. So President Trump brought Americans home. Was the first president to step foot in North Korea. Was he perfect? No, nobody's perfect in terms of foreign policy, but he wasn't nearly as destructive. Actually, we didn't get into an endless war with Trump. We did with both President Obama and especially Bush, Cheney, Rumsfeld. So, to my super chat, thank you again. Paul Bartlett, thank you. Carl Stevens, thank you. But you look, ladies and gentlemen, and this is the most, if you're in Iowa watching this, Iowa is going to be one of the most important states. Trump starts off strong. There's no stopping him. There's just no stopping him. He starts off strong in Iowa. There is no stopping this man.
Too many Catholics in this room, are there? Baby drill.
5 words. You.
And then I said, right, because he's right there. He's on the ball, this guy. Well, he's a caucus captain. I want one of those hats, too. I like that hat more than... That is a great hat. I'm going to be... look, I'm doing caucus. I don't know if I'm a captain. Ron DeSanctimonious. Look, I got him elected, and then he forgot about it. Totally forgot. I got him elected. He was down so low, he had no chance. He came to my office. He said, please, please. Tears coming down his eyes. I mean, this guy was desperate. He had somebody that was up 35 points. The Secretary of Agriculture, Adam Putnam. I didn't know the gentleman. I feel sorry for him now. I wish I would have endorsed him. He was at 42 or something. Ron was down at around 3. He was very low. And I said, you know what, okay, because on the impeachment hoax, number 1 and 2.
Impeachment hoax 1 and 2. One of the best parts about Trump is that he's so irreverent at what Democrats view to be such, they're so sanctimonious, like DeSanctimonious. We had record low poverty. We had record low poverty with Trump. What more? I mean, what is there to prove? Chris Christie did nothing ever. DeSanctimonious is good in Florida, but he's not good on a national scale. Nikki Haley worked for Trump. We had record low poverty, record highs in household median income. Inflation was at, 2 to 3%. Interest rates were at 3% with Trump. What more was there to prove? We had a great economy with Trump. He was the first president to step foot in North Korea. He was very, very tough in terms of trade, which is what the unions wanted, by the way. He never got credit for that with China. There's so many things he did. He moved the embassy to Jerusalem, something that from my ethnic background, very important. There's so many good things he did, and the media would not give him 1 second of respect or acknowledgement, nothing. They accused him of things he didn't do. So, I mean, he did really good. I mean, the proof is in, like, with Trump, it's not theoretical. We already know he did well.
He was one of about 150 congressmen who went on television, would fight for me a little bit. So I didn't know the other guy, so I said, all right, I did. So I pressed that little sacred button. I said, bing, and he went up like the race was over. And the other guy, Adam, he was up in Tallahassee. They were measuring the rooms for carpet. The race was over. It was like about a 30-point spread or some massive spread. And he won. And then I helped him get by the Democrat opponent, who they all said, good-looking guy. They said he was going to be a president someday. He had a big future. Turned out to be a crack addict. But remember that guy? He was a beauty. But he was way ahead of Ron, and we worked. And I said, we'll do a couple of rallies. We did 2 or 3 rallies. We had massive crowds. He won. And then 4 years later, they said, will you run? And he said, I have no comment. When he said, I said, he's going to run. This guy's going to run. I got him elected, and I got him elected. You know, some people I help. Some people don't need help. I think they all need help, actually, because it's tough out there. But some people don't need much. He was dead. It was over. He was going to go out. He was going to either work at a pizza chain or he was going to work in a law office. And he was dead. He was gone.
So there's really, if you're Ron DeSantis, you pretty much ruined your chances. Had he not run in 24, he would have been the front runner in 28. Okay, had DeSantis not run, Arlene Calderon, thank you to my super chat. Thank you, Arlene. Happy New Year to you, Arlene Calderon. Thank you. Happy New Year to you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciate it, Arlene. I can't do this without you, everybody. I really appreciate your super chat, and thank you so much, Arlene. But yeah, I mean, had Arlene and everybody here, had DeSantis not run in 24, he'd be had DeSantis not run in 24, he'd be the front runner in 28. I mean, I really do think he'd be the front runner in 28. I don't see DeSantis winning the GOP nomination anymore. It's a very bad look, especially if it was just Nikki Haley versus Trump and DeSantis was on the sidelines and he backed Trump. Look at Vivek Ramaswamy. Look at Vivek. I mean, he is above DeSantis, really. I mean, maybe not in certain polls, but he really is. There's a lot more people who would vote for Vivek than DeSantis. Nikki Haley is viewed as the acceptable conservative. Trump as the traditional conservative. Okay, DeSantis made Trump. Nick from Australia, thank you. Thank you, Nick. Felstead, thank you. Felstead, thank you. Nick, thank you so very much. A+ guitar lessons. Rock on, Trump is back. They know no matter what they do, he cannot be stopped. Did you ever go to? I haven't. You'd love it. Off topic. What comics should I buy? Prices are down these days. Go Silver Age. You know, can I tell you something? I think if you go and you buy Mutant Massacre, X-Men, it's like 200 to 230. X-Men 200 to 230. A+ guitar lessons. You know what? Also A+. And Nick, thank you so much to my viewers in Australia. Thank you, Nick. Happy New Year to you. A+ guitar lessons on eBay. If you go on eBay, you can buy, I mean, I don't know, like you could buy a whole bunch of older comics for great prices. Now they've been read and they're not, pristine. It depends. You can get comics that are, in pristine condition, whatever you want. But Mutant Massacre, I think, the Avengers from that time. I think comics from 1986, 85 to 1991, which is when I would really read comics. You can find some really great deals on eBay. A+ guitar lessons. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. There's a lot of good, like Avengers, Thor. There's some good X-Men. Thank you. A plus guitar lessons. Thank you. Nick, thank you so much. White Lotus, hello. Thank you for watching in Vietnam. Thank you. To my viewers in Vietnam, love you. God bless you. Thank you. By the way, I love, love, love Vietnamese food. Love it. I love pho and Vietnamese coffee. Vietnamese coffee is the best, one of the best coffee I've ever had in my life is Vietnamese coffee with the press. It's so the like the cream. It's so good. It's amazing, and I love pho. Now I feel like Vietnamese food. But yeah, I mean, let's continue. Thank you, A plus guitar. Thank you. Love 2 Live Crew. Love Logan05. Love 2 Live Crew. I love 2 Live Crew. Luke, love, love that music. I grew up with that. That's like, was listening to cassette tapes of 2 Live Crew when I was 13, 14, 15, 16 years old. And 17. All right, let's continue.
I got him elected, and then they said, are you going to run? He said, I have no comment on that. I said, this guy's going to run. And my people in the back, they said, sir, don't hit him so hard. He's a Republican, sir. I said, I don't care if he's a Republican. Who the hell cares if he's a Republican? And by the way, we're people of common sense. You know, we're conservative, I guess, and all, right? But what we really are is, because this is what being conservative, I think, is, they're people of common sense. We want borders. We want fair elections. We want low interest rates. We want strong military.
You got to lower interest rates, but then you have to go ahead and address inflation. And whether Trump cuts taxes or Trump makes it easier to drill, you can't focus on the environment when you're flooding the country full of strategic petroleum reserves. Stop talking about the Green New Deal and how the Earth has only years to make it. You've flooded the country full of strategic petroleum reserves. How on earth is that good for the planet? And then you beg other countries, but you have all the resources at home. When I was a Bernie Sanders supporter, which I'm embarrassed of, and most Bernie Sanders supporters are embarrassed of, believe me, the left, I'm just as embarrassed as the left is of me ever being there. I would say ban fracking. Did I really think about what would happen? No. Because it was a doctrine. You're indoctrinated. It sounds good. It sounds good. Is it perfectly safe? That's another story. But if you ban it, what's going to happen to gas prices? Well, people won't afford their gas prices. Okay? And it's interesting, too, because in blue states, people are paying thousands upon thousands. People are going into debt to pay utilities. People are going into debt to pay their utilities bill. Okay? Angie, probably. I love the Ramones. Love the Ramones. Love the Ramones. So let's continue.
We want low taxes. We gave you the biggest tax decrease ever. No, we're people of common sense. We want voter ID, right? Can you imagine? They don't want voter ID. Farmers.
Most people.
Just beautiful.
Darren K. Darren. Darren and Crystal, hello. We're tuned in to watch live from the Philippines. Can't miss the real quality news even on the other side of the world. God bless you. I love Filipino culture, the Philippines, and I'm really, really interested in the Filipino martial arts, Pakiti Kali. Really interested. There's some really, really wonderful channels on YouTube talking about Pakiti Kali and like grandmasters talking about it. Really, really amazing. There's one gentleman, Leo T. Gahe. I believe that's his. I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. He's a grandmaster. Really amazing, amazing man. Amazing man on YouTube. Really one of the best martial arts, I think, is the Filipino martial arts. Really one of the best in the whole world is the Filipino martial arts. I really do think that. Thank you, Darren K. Thank you. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. And thank you for watching.
Everything. I drove here even in this horrible rain and snow. Well, it's pretty beautiful, actually. The snow came down, the rain came. I saw everything in a period of 20 minutes from... I saw every form of weather in the period of about 25 minutes because we were going slightly fast. Thank you very much, Secret Service. We're going like... Boom. Those red lights, they didn't mean a thing. It was just... But I saw every form of weather you can see. But we're going to do something. We're going to do something really, really great. This will be when we win. You know, people want me to say, I always like to say if, because I don't want to jinx it. You understand? Does anyone understand? They say, sir, not if, it's when. I've seen what they can do. They can work magic where you're winning in Pennsylvania by like, they're going to walk on glass. So, less than me. I got indicted because I challenged a crooked election.
So, everybody knows, Darren K., thank you. Everybody knows what's going on. Everybody knows what's going on. Okay? They are petrified of Trump. They have no answer to him. Usually you'd go and say, well, our candidate is better. They're not saying that. They're not talking about Biden. None of these people are talking about Biden. None of the people who dislike Trump, who are petrified of Trump, they're not bringing up Biden. Okay, they're not bringing up Biden because they're embarrassed.
Now it's turned out, you saw the facts that came out 2 days ago. Done the damage that this guy has done to our country. And remember, you know, MAGA is the greatest, probably the greatest ever in politics, but I was going to put it CAG. I'm glad I didn't do that, actually, CAG. Keep America great. But then I realized America is not great. I can't use it. America is not great right now. We're going to make it great. We're going to make it better than ever before. But right now, we're a laughingstock all over the world. So this election is our last chance to save America.
Can you imagine 4 more years of Biden or Democrats? No PhD. Hello. Can you imagine 4 more years of Democrats? Thank you again, Darren. Thank you. And they keep saying that Trump is a strong man. He's a strong man. He's not a strong man. He's just a candidate that did very well as president and is saying the truth, telling the truth about how horrible Democrats are, which is why he's up in the polls. But they always have to turn everything into some kind of grandiose. They look at everything through liberal sensibilities. So because Trump doesn't have like 30 public relations consultants around him and he speaks off the cuff, then he's like a strong man. He's authoritarian. Oh my God.
all begins in Iowa. It begins right here. First in the nation. It begins right here in Iowa on January 15th, and Joe Biden's Banana Republic ends on November 5th, 2024. That's what it is. And with your help, we're going to bring back our country. We're going to bring it back from hell, because this country has been in hell. What they've done.
And then they say he's an authoritarian. He's echoing authoritarians. It's like, no, people don't like what's taking place in the country. So, he's not echoing anyone. He just doesn't like what's going on in the country. He doesn't communicate in the manner a liberal Democrat communicates. And so they turn him into something he's not. Okay, they turn him into something he's not. And so that's all. It's just he doesn't communicate in the manner that wonderful, highly educated liberal Democrats communicate. So to the members on this channel, also thank you. Angie, thank you for being a member. Paul Bartlett, exactly. It is the last bite. Exactly. That's true. That's true. Let's continue.
And they ought to, you know what they ought to do? They ought to release the J6. By the Presidential Records Act.
If you noticed, the way Trump was treated is not the way, it's not the way that, the way that, demonstrators in January were treated, the ones who committed crimes, it's not the way that billions in people who were linked to billions in property damage on the left were treated. That's just not what took place. And I think that Biden will get replaced by Hillary Clinton. I don't see, there's a built-in network for Hillary. I don't see Trump. I don't see anyone else but Hillary Clinton. I don't see anyone else but Hillary Clinton. I don't think that Biden, he's the most popular candidate of all time, apparently. But they now want to replace him. So good luck trying to debunk Trump when they're trying to replace a man they claim was the most popular candidate of all time. So, we'll go a couple minutes more and then we'll head on out, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so very much for tuning in. I know it is late. We'll do a couple more minutes.
But I have Jack Smith, deranged Jack Smith, I call him. And he's all over the place, trying to frighten people, trying to scare people. And he has a very bad record. You know why? Because he always goes too far. He goes so far. And he's got a bad record, lost before the Supreme Court a couple of times. But a record 300,000 illegal aliens. Beautifully dressed. I remember how good I was going to ask him for his tailor, but I didn't feel like going to Mexico to get a suit. It wasn't worthwhile to go to Mexico to get a suit. But very suave guy. And I say, we need 28,000 soldiers, and you're going to have to pay for it. They can't beat me. They're 50, 60 points down. They're not going to win, and they're going to get hit harder than me. So with me, they hit me, and they won't take it like I take it, because I take it. People do say, they say, two questions they have for me. One is, sir, how do you do it? How do you take it? And the other one is, will they do it again? They better not do it again. We have a lot of good people. and we're fighting like hell. I actually say, don't worry about the vote. We're going to get plenty of.
The Candyman, hello. Hello, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very, very much. God bless you all. I'll be back tomorrow, people, around 3 p.m., 2 p.m. Pacific time. I'll try to do one at around, 2 p.m. Eastern. So I'll do one at 2 p.m. Eastern time, people. And please be here. Ladies and gentlemen, God bless. Thanks, everybody, for everything. And please be here throughout the year in November also. If you're on this channel, understand that November is going to be one of the most important months in world and U.S. history. Paul Bartlett, thank you. Everyone here, thank you. The Conscious Universe, Gloria, hello. Everyone, thank you so very, very much. God bless you all. I'll see you tomorrow. Try to be here at 2 p.m. on the live stream.